The Shark Deck.
I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Late night is off for the writer's strike. LateBot said, hey, did you see Tom Hanks says he could keep acting after death because of AI and deep fakes? LateBot said, I can't wait to see the casting call for Forrest Gump, The Ghostly Chronicles. But hey, if Tom Hanks can act from beyond the grave, who's to say other celebrities won't follow suit? Get ready for Weekend at Bernie's 3, the Zombie Edition, starring Tom Hanks, Elvis Presley, and the Loch Ness Monster. And I love the twist that the LateBot put on this one. Hey, until that day comes, let's cherish the living Tom Hanks and his amazing performances. After all, there's no AI that can replace the real deal. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to work on my own AI-generated late-night jokes. The LateBot wrote that itself. It's becoming self-aware. Elon Musk has backed up his buddy Dave Chappelle. You may recall from yesterday, Dave Chappelle, that San Francisco has taken on the characteristics of a zombie movie. On Twitter, Elon Musk said the disaster that is downtown San Francisco, once beautiful and thriving, is now a derelict zombie apocalypse. I was surprised there is nothing new about the Chris D'Elia story I told you about yesterday. I'll keep an eye on that one, but I was surprised there was nothing new. The Office ended 10 years ago. I actually feel like it's been longer. On Tuesday, Jenna Fisher, she played Pam. If you watch The Office, you're familiar with the character Pam, I would hope, yes. She tweeted, The Office series finale aired 10 years ago. There's a lot of beauty in ordinary things. Isn't that kind of the point? Final Pam talking head, and shared a photo. In the comments, Angela chimed in with a string of emojis, smiley face, and heart specifically. Jennifer Gorner chimed in and said, finales really get to me, but this one just about did me in. Emoji of someone crying. Angela posted a photo of herself being carried by Phyllis. 10 years ago, Phyllis carried Angela down the aisle to marry her love, Dwight. Sarah Silverman will have an upcoming HBO special. It'll be out May 27th. She has released a trailer. The trailer has one joke. Let's listen.
I would never buy a German car because, we don't want to give our money to Nazis. But I just bought a German car. Because I feel like all the original Nazis are dead. There are new Nazis, but, they don't know how to make a car.
Someone You Love on HBO, May 27th. Nikki Glaser caught up with the Jerusalem Post, your home for comedy news, and someone's publicist will be happy. Listen to the spin Nikki put on this. The Jerusalem Post writes, although she's not Jewish, Nikki Glaser identifies with the long American tradition of Jewish comedy. Nikki said, and this is why the publicist is going to be happy because this was fielded so well, Jewish comedy is my brand of comedy. She'll be performing in Israel on May 27th, so she's going to miss Sarah Silverman's special unless she watches HBO in the motel room. I guess she could do that. Hotel room. I said motel. Leave it in. John, do you really think she's staying in a motel? She's probably not. May 27th, she's playing Tel Aviv's Charles Brofman Auditorium. She says her brand of comedy, I think I just tell the truth. She grew up Catholic and said, there's lots of guilt and shame tied in there. However, there isn't a ton of honesty wrapped in it. There's a ton of the guilt aspect in Judaism, too, but Jews are honest and blunt about it. I can't hold back from telling a joke because it might upset one person. If I make a joke about something traumatic happening and someone in my audience has a hard time with that, I can be empathetic, but I feel like I've done a decent job at figuring out where that line is. Sometimes you learn the hard way, though. There were times when the best way to figure where the line was simply by crossing it. She said, I'll always leave room to apologize when necessary. If I screw up, I'll hold myself accountable. At least I could live with my parents again if that happens. The guys from Please Don't Destroy, those are the sketch guys, the writers, the young guys that kind of carried the Saturday Night Live season. You know who I'm talking about there? They're touring. Pretty cool. The article here says the tour kicks off in Philadelphia. I thought I saw a New York date, but maybe I'm making that up. Kicking off in Philadelphia on June 23rd, 25 cities, Nashville, Chicago, San Francisco, Atlanta, D.C., or some of them. Wraps up August 27th in Dallas. Tickets go on sale Friday, 10 a.m. There's a pre-sale right now. Use the access code LIVE if you want to go see Please Don't Destroy. Sebastian Maniscalco's movie About My Father will be out May 26th. That's just about a week away, right? So we'll be seeing lots and lots of articles about Sebastian, and in every article they talk about how Robert De Niro plays his father. Yes, that's very cool, but I feel like we've been talking about this for 6 months. But here's a new quote from Sebastian. It's not every day that you send off your father to sit down with Robert De Niro and talk about a script, especially when my father doesn't really know anything about movie making and script analysis and what have you. But from what he was telling me, he really helped De Niro with the Italian. He never taught me Sicilian, but he taught Robert De Niro.
Do you love your Peloton?
Oh, I sure do.
Well, I know you do because you started a podcast about one. If you love your Peloton and can't get enough of it and all the news that goes along with it, you should check out our show. It's called The Clip Out. It's a great place to go for instructor news, new classes, motivational tips, corporate machination.
We don't just tell you the news, we also give you our thoughts on why things are happening. And each week we also interview a member of the Peloton community. Sometimes it's, somebody like me, just a regular person riding their bike.
Sometimes it's Snooky.
You never know.
You never know.
The Clip Out is about anyone who loves their Peloton.
Every week we take you behind the scenes and inside the world of Peloton. The Clip Out is available wherever you get your podcasts or check out our website,
theclipout.com.
A few weeks ago, before the writer's strike, Jimmy Fallon pledged support for his staff and said, "I wouldn't have a show if it wasn't for my writers. I support them all the way. I support my whole staff." However, the Huffington Post has reported that Fallon's non-writing staff has been placed on unpaid leave of absence. An anonymous source said it felt like a classic layoff. Monday night, staffers received emails from HR. The next day, they were told this would be their last paid week. The source said our final paychecks will come in next week. Sarah Kobos is a photo coordinator at The Tonight Show. She's been tweeting about it, saying she heard folks at Late Night with Seth Meyers and The Late Show with Stephen Colbert will continue to be paid. Kobos emailed with the AV Club and said she stands fully in solidarity with the WGA. I think we all just had hopes that NBC, an incredibly rich company due in large part to the talented employees, would do right by us. Instead, they're putting us on what they call unpaid leave and expecting everyone to just hold tight. It's well known this industry already underpays folks. It was a bummer to hear that other late night shows, even at NBC, are continuing to pay their staff thanks to the generosity of their hopes. While I'm happy for their workers, it certainly isn't helping morale that the same isn't happening here. We'll see how Jimmy Fallon chooses to react. John Cleese, he's 83 years old and says, "I don't get canceled because I do stage shows. People think to themselves, I like him, so I'll buy a ticket. The audience is basically pre-selected to like me, so when I come out, they like me. They like the sort of humor I do." Roy Wood Jr. was reflecting on his White House Correspondents' Dinner set. One of the bridge jokes that he did was, drag queens are not at the school to groom your kids. And even if they were, most of those kids are going to get shot at school, so it's not a problem. Groans filled the air, but then he poked at the lawmakers in the room to pass legislation if they can't take the joke. He said, there are always people who are going to use any opportunity to misconstrue a joke for political points, which some people are doing with that joke online. He said that particular event, it's not like a rap concert where if you talk trash about a rapper, his crew's going to be waiting backstage to beat you up. No one was walking around looking for me like Chris Brown after an Usher event. It was politics. Maybe I'll get audited. At least Kellyanne Conway thought I was funny. Bunch of shows in Sydney on Friday. I tried to find something with a clip from somebody we haven't heard from before, but I couldn't come up with one. So Bron Lewis, we've heard from her when the Melbourne International Comedy Festival was going on. She's at Sydney on Friday, so let's listen to a different part of her set.
My partner and I aren't married. We're not. We decided against it. We figured we had already been together for ages. We have kids and neither of us like our extended family enough to buy them a meal. So we skipped it, and that's great, that's fine with us. The only thing I don't like about not being married is I hate the word de facto. It sounds like something's broken, like something's gone wrong along the way, and it has.
Pretty good, and right before that, she told some very funny jokes that had F words in them, and if I took the F word out, it wouldn't have worked as a bit. So good stuff from Bron Lewis. Let's keep an eye on her. Meanwhile, New Zealand on Friday. No clips available, but some of the shows include the Improv Bandits, Epic Comedy Battle, Stand Up versus Improviser. That's fun. Danny O'Brien's show is called The God of All Things Bad. And Instant Broadway, where every night is opening night. The cast improvises an entire musical. All songs, music, characters, and stories are 100% made up on the spot. If you like that sort of thing, there's an American podcast called Off Book that does that, and Off Book is fantastic. And that is your comedy news for today. Follow the show for free on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Like and subscribe on YouTube, as the kids say. Smash that subscribe button. That's what all the Gen Zs tell me to do when I watch videos. See you tomorrow.
Hello, I am Mark Francis, host of Palace Intrigue, the podcast that delves into the daily drama of the British royal family. These short daily episodes cover the latest news and scandals involving the likes of Prince Harry, Meghan Markle, Kate Middleton, King Charles, and the rest. From backroom sources to public controversies, we've got you covered. Whether you're a long-time fan or just curious about the royals, Palace Intrigue is the perfect podcast for you. So join us as we explore the lives, legacies, and dramas of the British monarchy. Subscribe now and never miss an episode of Palace Intrigue.